Welcome back to the Two Promises Podcast. Let's dive right into another exciting adventure with BD and crew as he pursues his new passion of one day finding the most epic bourbon. The Two Promises team send their special thanks to Hobie and the Huckleberries for their masterful theme music. So grab a glass, relax, and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey, now I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth, smooth whiskey. No more wine. I like straight bourbon. Baby, you try the ride.
So speaking of the future, where did some of these things, you've worked through a lot. You've worked through relationships, careers, and you've got a lot of great wisdom that comes from all of those experiences. And like I said, I stuck myself in the victim mindset for a while. I got plugged into that. Yeah. So I think that's going to be probably a fairly universal experience if you're on this earth. So Hearing these stories and seeing other people go through it. And so my question is kind of like, what's that next ridgeline for you? Where are you turning all of this energy and where are you taking it?
It's funny that you say that, man, because obviously you know me and I generally try to do something musically when it comes to all this stuff. And for the most part, like, I think that that's always going to be my primary function is music. But I think that it's, for some reason, it just feels like it's getting bigger. And I don't know how to express that. I think that he's working on me. Lord, I'm not speaking for you. I'm just telling them what I think you think you're doing. I'm telling them what I think you're doing. But I think he's working on me to do what he needs me to do for him. I don't know what that is. And when he's ready to reveal that to me, he will. But I can tell you that I can feel the gears shifting. Just like having this conversation right here. Like, I didn't expect to come on here and talk to you about God the entire time. I really didn't. I just like talking to you. Like, I enjoy spending time with you. I enjoy hanging out and talking to you. When you go back and you look at this, you can see that, like, I'm pretty sure I spent the entire time on this podcast talking about God. I feel like that's what's happening.
And I'd like to kind of share a story kind of in that vein. Texas also applies, and nonprofit. So I was asked to be on the board of a nonprofit that is being developed, and the mission for our nonprofit is to have a food bank or a food pantry on every inhabitable continent. And not just feeding people physically, but also kind of eventually, we're starting with the physical needs, but eventually we'd like to be able to find ways to empower them so that they're not in a dependent cycle. Whether that'll happen with everybody or not, we don't really know, but we want each inhabitable continent to have a food bank where we can help provide them some of those physical needs.
That's the goal.
So the guy who's been kind of spearheading it, the founder, if you will, he's been working on it for a while, working with the IRS, getting all the paperwork in. And he really, same thing, has been kind of seeking what's that next step in a period of reinvention or in a period of reflection where you're kind of determining, hey, what is my next step? I've done X, Y, Z. I felt like I've gone as far as I've been called at this point. Like, speak to me, guide me, direct me.
Right.
And it has literally been just like doors opening like you wouldn't believe. So him and the girl that his fiance, they're both like, hey, I think we need to move. I think we need to go to Texas. Okay. So they literally just sold their house. They've been kind of planning this move before even selling the house. They went down there and checked it out. Felt right. They go away for probably 6 to 9 months trying to get everything ready. It's dragging on longer than they expected, like, oh man, are we ever going to get to Texas? And then they went down there again to do like the first kind of move and start like find an apartment, find a place for her to stay, him to stay.
Right.
And he's a chaplain for the police department.
Yeah.
And as he's moving there, one of the people that he knew from previous chaplaincy, whether it was his schoolhouse, I don't remember, but she just got promoted as like a huge regional manager covering like multiple states. And Texas was one of them.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And
Nice.
So that opened the door for him. She put him pretty much in charge of Texas. So now he's like the head chaplain guy. He went to a church down there and he had a very moving spiritual experience of basically a finger coming down, pointing right down in the middle of the church. It was like, welcome home, son. You're right where you need to be. I've heard your prayers. your prayers are answered. So no joke. Now he's there. Turns out that the church organization of the pastor there is in charge of the chaplaincy program. And it was just a church that So all of these intersecting things just all came together that weren't planned by him. He just kept following that guidance, and then things just started falling in place. So it's incredible to hear those things, experience those things, and then also a reflection of you to be willing to go through those and say, hey, I don't really know where I'm at right now. I just know that there's something coming, and God's going to make that way, and he's going to reveal it to me when the time is right.
Yeah. Like, hey, just be open to everything. Just be open. Like, and the reality is that's where we all screw up. That's where we all screw up. I know, I can tell you, I can be honest with you. Like, I don't have a problem with telling you that I can shut a lot of shit out of my brain. I'm really good at it. Like, I can literally get rid of the emotions in my head. If I want to be a sociopath, I can be. I choose not to be. Sociopath generally knows the difference between right and wrong. They just choose to do whatever makes them feel better. Like, that's the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath. Psychopaths just think that what they're doing is perfectly fine. Doesn't matter what it is. So, but me personally, like, I could choose to be a sociopath, but I don't choose to be a sociopath. I choose to be somebody who's connected to people. I don't want to use people. I want to be something that helps people stand up. I want to be the guy that falls down next to you and stands up and picks you up. That's what I want to be. And I want to be that for everybody. Now, do I want the accolades of that? No, I don't give a shit. To be honest with you, I don't care. I was a corpsman. I chose to be a corpsman for a reason. I'm going to show you y'all, and you've seen this before, but like, I'm missing 2.5 toes on my right foot. And when I did that, there was a doctor, this little German surgeon. He was American, but he was a dual citizen. He was from Germany. And I was like 15, 16 when I did that.
Okay.
And I never thought that I'd ever play football again. My coach came in probably about 3 days after I cut my toes off. And he brought me in a 35-pound dumbbell. And he goes, here, just keep using these until you can get back on your feet.
Wow.
And I promise you, I'm going to say his name, and I haven't said his name in fucking ages. But Coach Eicher, one of the weirdest looking dudes in the world. Like, just this tall, lanky, muscle built, and this dude had calves that look like freaking anvils. And I mean calves that look like fucking anvils. And just wore this small little short bike short, the softball shorts, and the long, tall tube socks, and the Spalding, ribbed freaking coach shoes and all that shit, and the ball cap and blah, 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 blah. But he walked in that day in the freaking hospital, and he handed me that 35-pound weight, and he goes, just keep using these until you get back on your feet. And then you show back up to practice, and we'll get you back into practice. And that was the moment that I realized that no matter how bad things are, I can still make it through things. I can still walk. I just cut off most of my toes, but I can still walk. And then I was back on the football field in like 2.5 months. I was playing football again.
That's awesome.
And it was horrible because I got my foot stomped on. Brand new scar tissue, broken bones, all that stuff. Still getting roughed up, beat on, banged around. The stitches, at this point, stitches and staples are gone. But it's still tender. But I was still playing football. I didn't stop. But I wanted to be a surgeon when I met that little surgeon. I wanted to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched that little dude talk about how he was solving my problem. And I was like, fuck, man, I want to do that for people. And I wanted to be a Marine, but then they were like, well, yeah, we don't know fuck doctors and fuck Marine Corps. And I was like, well, and the gunny was like, he's like, well, you don't want to be a sniper? You don't want to be a cop? No, I want to be a doctor.
Right.
He spit his Copenhagen in his coffee cup, and he goes, come here, boy. And he walked me across the hallway to the freaking Navy recruiting office, and he looked at this freaking boiler tech, second class boiler tech, and he goes, hey, Boats. He goes, this young man right right here wants to be a Fleet Marine Force corpsman. Make it happen. And that boiler tech is happy as a pig on a freaking in a freaking slop hall. Like he was just happy as shit that he got another number, and he was like, "Absolutely good, absolutely, Gunny, I got you."
Right.
So yeah, like old boy was like, "Yeah." So that's why I became a corpsman, because I just wanted to help people.
That's awesome.
I wanted to help people, and that's who I am today. And I'll be that for the rest of my life. But I'm also not going to sit here and be, I don't know, I don't plan on being somebody's enabler. I don't need an enabler because, trust me, I have plenty of them around me. I don't need them. I don't care about them, and I got nothing for them. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to enable you either or anybody around me. Like, I might listen to you, and if I hear that you're like, there's no change in your mind, I'm just going to be like, "Aw." "Aw, no, bro, that's cool. Sounds great. I'm going to go watch some paint dry now. Is that cool? You don't mind? All right. Sounds good.
Right.
I'm going to go watch some oil dry over here in the water. It'll be great."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not interested, man. Not interested. And I don't have to be. So, Lord, that's me in a nutshell, Brent.
Hey, it has been absolutely awesome. Like you said, man, I've just always enjoyed our conversations. Every time we've gotten to chat, it's just been natural, you know?
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I am super grateful for you sharing all the vulnerability. And I do see that in you. You are someone who legitimately does want to help people, help fix their problems, help get them pulled up and set up. And I think you've done it long enough that you've known, hey, some people, it's just not their time yet. They're not ready.
When you're ready,
And if they're not ready, then like you said,
right.
You're watching oil dry in the water.
Right. I'm going to watch some fucking oil dry over here in this freaking hydraulic pod. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow. Look at this olive oil in this boiling pot of water. It's going to dry up real quick. Watch. Yeah. No. Yeah. So, but dude, listen, at the end of the day, and I'll be honest, this is what I want to say. I don't know if this is the end of the freaking podcast, but I want to say this for final thoughts for sure, for anyway. Like, at the end of the day, man, I have to own me because I'm the only one that can. And if I don't, ain't nobody going to regulate me. And if I don't regulate me, I'm all over the place. And if I'm all over the place, I'm not focused at anything. So what am I doing? I'm wasting time. Now, if I put myself together and I focus myself and I harness who I am as a human being, and I give myself grace and I give myself love and I give myself protection and I give myself acceptance instead of trying to be something I'm not, then it's so much easier in life. Less energy expended. If I have to keep lying to myself every day, you know how much fucking work that is? It's a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's just easier for me to tell you I made ice cream for a living.
That way you don't have to get into the whole ball of wax and
Nope.
pull those bandages up again.
Right. Like, I don't even want to say I was a male correspondent anymore after watching 6 888s. Seriously, dude, you need to watch that fucking flick today. Like, I'm telling you, it's just a beautiful story. And it pisses me off at how our culture, not just our culture, just how culture was, period. Mm-hmm. Like back in 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like, right. Really, bro? Did you really need to do that shit? Did you really need to be that way? Peckerhead? Yeah, no. So, but anyway, I digress. Don't mind me. I'm just here for the party.
I dig it.
Thank you for joining us today on this curious roller coaster of life. If this is your stop, please exit peacefully. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're ready for another one, just push play. Just a final note before you go, thank you. And thank you for feeling. The distillation and aging process is different for everyone. I'm not quite sure what you're ready for. Sip slowly and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey and I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth whiskey. No more wine. straight bourbon. Baby, you try the ride.